Hello everyone, you are welcome to today's class. So in this class, we want to look at compound interest. So in this class, we have these two objectives. The first one is the meaning of compound interest and its relation with simple interest. Now when we talk about compound interest, it's quite different from simple interest. In simple interest, the interest for a particular year will not be added to the principal of the next year. Let's say for instance you saved 20,000 naira into a bank at 5% compound interest, or let's say simple interest for 1 year. Let's say for 2 years. So here we're going to find 5% of this will give us the interest for 1 year. So that interest for 1 year should be the same interest I'm going to collect in the following year. That's what it means. So 5% of 20,000 naira. So 0 cancels 0. So that is 5, that is 10. Then 1, 2, 1, 2. So which means you are going to collect interest of what? 1,000 naira on what? 20,000 naira for 1 year if it is simple interest. So the following year, that's at the end of the first year. So at the end of the second year, you also collect what? 1,000 naira. So which means at the end of the 2 years, your interest will be what? 2,000 naira. But the case of compound interest is not going to be the same way. It's not going to be the same thing. So what will happen is that the interest of the first year will be added to the principal of the what? Of the first year to get the principal for the next year. So that means this 1,000 for the first year will be added to this one. It's going to be what? 21,000, which means the following year the principal will change to what? 21,000 naira. Then that is what you now calculate what? 5% on 21,000 naira. Am I with you? So which means the interest for the second year will not be 1,000 again. It's going to what? Increase. That is what we call compound interest. I hope that is clear. So that's the difference between compound interest and what? Simple interest. So we're going to look at examples now to see how we can do. I'm going to use two methods. So we use the manual method of calculating compound interest. I also use a formula method of calculating what? Compound interest. So let's look at the example. Alright, this is the first example. Calculate the compound interest on 120,000 naira for 3 years at 5% per annum. So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to have two methods. So the first method is this. So we are going to calculate it manually. So we do it year by year. That's what we're going to do. So the first thing, let's write out the principal. So the principal here, the P principal, is what? 120,000 naira. That is the principal. Then year, we have 3 years. The time is 3 and the rate is 5%. So this is what we want to use. So we are going to start like this. So year 1 for the first year, year 1. So the principal, we're going to have 2 columns. The first one here and the second one here. All right. So the principal is 120,000. Let's have it here. Then we are going to calculate the interest on this. Interest. So interest on 120, that is 5% of 120,000. So we calculate it, and that gives 0.05 times 120,000. That gives 6,000 naira. So this is the interest for the first year. So we add, for us to get the principal for year 2, we are going to add this together. To get the principal for years, we are not going to maintain the same principal that we have here, that 120,000. So this will give us 126,000 naira. So this will now be what? Year 2 principal. That's what this one means. So we're going to calculate interest on that again. So interest is 5% of 126,000 naira, right? So that is 0.05 times 126,000 naira. So that gives us 6,300. You can see that the interest has increased from 6,000 naira to 6,300 naira because it is compounded. Because we are adding the interest to the principal. So that is why it has increased. You can see that. But if it is under simple interest, you maintain the 6,000 until you finish the year. So we add them together, and this will give 300, and this is 12, this is 3, that is 130. So this will be what? Year 3 principal. Year 3 principal. So this is year 3 principal. So we calculate the interest for year 3 again. We calculate the interest, which is 5% of the principal, times 132,300. So that is 0.05 times 132,300, and that gives 6,615. So we add them together because we have 3 years. We have 3 years. This is where we're going to stop. So we add this together. So if there are more than 3 years, if we have 4 years, we continue like that until you finish. This will give you 9. This gives 8. That is 3. So which means this is what at the amount at the end of what? This is the amount at the end of the 3rd year is this. That is the 120,000 naira has accumulated to what? 138,915. Now this 138,915 is not the compound interest. It is the principal plus the interest. That is it is the amount. So, and what we asked to calculate is compound interest. So for us to now get the compound interest now, because amount is equal to principal plus what? Interest. And the amount is what? 138,000. So that means the interest, the compound interest here will then be what? Amount minus principal. Amount minus what? Principal. Right? So that will then give us 138,915 minus 120,000. So that will give us 138,915 minus 120. So that gives 18,915. So this is the compound interest you are asked to calculate. I hope this is very clear. Good. So after that, let's now look at the second method and see how we're going to solve that. All right. So we want to look at method 2 to solve this. Method 2. So under method 2 here, we are going to make use of the formula method. That's formula method. Formula. We are going to use a formula. So the formula is amount equals to P into bracket 1 plus R, everything raised by N. So where P is the principal, right? And R is the rate. N is what? Is the year. So, and we have everything here. So what we're going to do, we're calculating amount. A is amount. A is amount. So in that case, amount here will then be the principal, which is 120,000 into bracket 1 plus the rate, which is 5%. That is 0.05 raised by 3. So, and let's see what we're going to have. So that is 120 into 1.05 raised by 3. So that is 120 times 1.05 raised by 3. You can make use of calculator. So 1.05 raised to power 3, and that gives 1.157625. So let's multiply times 120,000. So you can see we have the same amount, which is 138,915, which is the same thing we got the other time. So for us to now get the compound interest now, is going to be what? 138,915 minus 120,000. So that is going to give us minus 120,000, and that gives us 18,915, which is the same thing with what we got the other time. So that is the two methods. So when you are giving an exam, so you make sure you use the method that you understand best. So is that clear? So that is how to calculate compound interest. So let's see, this is where we're going to stop in this class. So in our next video we look at another concept. That's the end of compound interest, as you can see. So if you find this video useful and helpful, don't forget to subscribe and make sure you turn on your notification bell, so that anytime I release a video like this, you'll be able to get access to it, get notification on time on it. And also, if you find this video useful, don't forget to give us a big thumb up and make sure you share the this video with your loved ones. Let them benefit from it, spread it across, continue to share the video with your friends and family. So we'll meet in our next video. Bye for now.